Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Vitu. Good evening. How
Good
are
evening.
you? You look tired. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
What did you do today?
I learned a lot.
Learn online? And how was it? Is it fun? Did you have fun?
It's good.
Good?
Fun.
No homework?
It's hard.
You have homework? Okay. And what
Yes.
did you eat for dinner tonight?
Rice and chicken and meat.
Wow, chicken and meat. That's really good. Okay. And how's the weather, by the way? Is it raining in your country right now? Is it raining?
It's cloudy.
Oh, it's just cloudy. Okay, because here it's already raining here. So the weather is not really good. All right, so thank you for that. Okay, now tonight V2, we will have a new lesson about fairy tales. Oh, do you know what is a fairy tales?
Yes.
Wow, do you read fairy tales?
Yes.
Wow, that's good. You read fairy tales. Okay, so I want you to please look at this one video, and I want you to choose. What do you read on holiday? Is it magazines, comics, storybooks?
I read comics.
Oh, wow. So you read comic during holiday? What's your favorite comic book?
I don't know.
You don't remember? You don't remember?
Yes.
Okay, so tonight we will learn about fairy tales. Okay, are you ready now? Are you ready, V2? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so now
Yes, I'm ready.
I want you to please listen, read, and then answer the questions below. Okay, are you ready now? Okay, I want you to please listen.
Student's Book, page 114.
2. Listen, read, and answer the questions.
Fairy tales, like The Flower Queen's Daughter, are stories for children. They are often about characters like kings, queens, dragons, witches, and animals that can talk. Two famous fairy tale writers were the brothers Grimm from Germany. Some of their stories are Rumpelstiltskin, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and Hansel and Gretel. The American film studio, Walt Disney, makes films of famous fairy tales. Some of these are Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and Pinocchio.
All right, so there you go. So we have it there. Fairy tales like The Flower Queen's Daughter are stories for children. So they are often about characters like kings, queens, dragons, witches, and animals that can talk. So two famous fairy tale writers were the brothers Grimm from Germany. Some of their stories are Rumpelstiltskin, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and Hansel and Gretel. Okay, so do you know these fairy tales? Do you know any of that? Me too. What?
Yes.
What
Yes.
kind of fairy tale or story do you know? Can you please tell me? What's that?
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel? Have you watched that story?
The Fox and the Crow.
Wow. Wow, what else?
Yes.
What else? What's your favorite fairy tale story? What's your favorite fairy tale story?
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, so it's about two like a brother and a sister. Okay, so for you to learn more about fairy tale, I want you to please wait for a minute, let me check. Okay, wait for a while. What? Okay, I will show you a short video about fairy tale. Okay, wait for a minute. Now here, look at this one video.
Purple screen.
Wait.
Today we
Look
will
at
take a
this
look
one.
at the genre of fairy tales. What makes a fairy tale different from other types of stories? What do fairy tales have in common? From all parts of the world, fairy tales have the same themes and motifs. Some were created by unknown authors long ago before people could read or write. Others were collected and adapted like the ones by the brothers Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, who gave us Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel. Or Francis Charles Perrault, who gave us Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella. Or Denmark's Hans Christian Andersen, who wrote his own stories such as The Ugly Duckling, The Snow Queen, and The Little Mermaid. But what do all fairy tales have in common? Let us begin with the setting. Fairy tales take place in an undefined time and place. They begin with phrases like once upon a time, or a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
They take place in a kingdom far away in a forest, or wood, or sometimes a humble cottage. And how about the characters? Well, fairy tale characters share commonalities. The archetypal damsel in distress needs to be rescued by a heroic knight in shining armor, or valiant prince. There are good characters too. They usually have magic powers and they help the main character. But then there are evil characters who set out to hurt the good characters. But don't worry, those lose out in the end. Another feature of the fairy tale is the recurring pattern. These patterns usually come in sets of 3s or 7s. There are also overarching themes: poverty versus wealth, cleverness versus foolishness, and good versus evil. There are also underlying elements such as sexism, transformation, justice, humility, and wit.
Oh yeah.
And of course, fairy tales teach us lessons and morals.
Yes.
Those lessons and morals unite us in our common culture. So why do we love fairy?
Okay, so that's it. So that's about fairy tales. So again, fairy tales, they are stories for children just like you. Okay? Stories for children, and it often has like characters like king, queens, dragons, witches, and animals that can talk. Okay, so that's very common in fairy tale stories or movies. Okay, so the American film studio Walt Disney make films of famous fairy tale. Some of these are Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and Pinocchio. Okay, have you seen this one or have you read the story Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and Pinocchio?
Yes.
Oh, and what did you learn from that story? Let us start with Pinocchio. So since you already watched the story Pinocchio, what moral lesson did you learn in that story? Mm-hmm. What moral lesson?
I don't know.
Okay, so that story tells us because Pinocchio is a boy who loves to tell a lie, and every time he lie, his nose will grow big or tall like that. And okay, I want you to see
Được, ra từ
Pinocchio.
đấy nhá. Được chưa?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to see Pinocchio. Wait for a minute. So this is what happened to Pinocchio's nose. Look at this one V2. Look. Okay, look at this one. This is what happened to his nose. See this? Because he always tell lies. And it's not good. Have you seen this story before?
Yes.
And again, every fairy tale movie or story at the end of the fairy tale, there's always a moral lesson where you can learn something, what's bad and what's good. Okay, so thank you for that. Now let's try to answer this question V2. Which fairy tales do you know? Can you please tell me which fairy tales do you know?
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel? And what are they called in your country? Like, how do you, what, I mean, like, what are they called in your country? Like fairy tales, what are they called? How do you say that one in your country? Language.
I say Vietnamese.
Yeah? How do you say it? Okay, it's alright. And why do you think people like fairy tales? Why do you think so?
Because fairy tales.
Yeah? Why?
It's good. Because it's good. Because it's
Because it's what? Yeah? Why do you think people like fairy tales? Ooh.
because they have one lesson.
Okay, so because they teach us lesson. Okay, lesson in life. And also, what else? They they are fun to read with, and you can really hear like stories. Okay, so thank you for that. Now let's continue V2. This is still about fairy tale. Now look at this one. Fairy tales are often about good and bad characters. So if you can remember, there's always good and bad characters in a fairy tale. So here are the good characters from 3 fairy tales. So I want you to match them with the bad characters from the same fairy tales. Okay? So if you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, A, B, and C. So I want you to please read and then um match the good character to its bad character. Okay? Are you ready now? Let's
Yes.
start with number 1. Please read. Please read number 1, V2.
The three Billy Goats Scrub want to cross the bridge.
Okay, so the 3 billy goats graph want to cross the bridge. So this is the good. Okay, the good characters. Now, I want you to look for its bad characters.
There is a troll under the bridge. He is very
Okay.
hungry.
Okay, very good. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's correct. Okay, that's correct. So, there, the 3 billy goats graph want to cross the bridge, and the bad guy here is there is a troll under the bridge and he is very hungry. All right, now number 2. Please read and
Cinderella
answer.
wants to go to Cinderella wants to the party at the palace.
And
The
then,
ugly sisters make her clean the house.
very good. So that's correct. So since this is the good character, okay? So Cinderella is a good character, while the ugly sisters are bad. Okay? So since Cinderella wants to go to a party at the palace, the ugly sisters make her clean the house. Okay? That's what happened in the story. And number 3, please read and
The little
answer.
mermaid, the little mermaid land. The
Yeah.
wicked witch can give her some legs.
Okay, and then what's the bad one?
It's a witch.
Okay, so the little mermaid wants to leave the sea and live on the land. And the wicked witch can give her some legs. So if you can see, this is the bad character. The witch is a bad character, okay? And the little mermaid Ariel is the good one. All right, so thank you so much for that. Very good. So these are just some of the famous fairy tales, children fairy tale. Do you know any of this one? Have you watched or have you read?
Yes.
Oh, okay, very good.
I return.
You read them all? You read them?
No.
No? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Now, very good. So that's about fairy tale. Okay, now let's continue to your next. Wait. Oops. Okay, now here. I want you to please listen to this one V2 and act out and then number the pictures and sentences after, okay? Are you ready now?
Yes.
Okay, listen and number the pictures after.
Student's Book, page 116.
1. Listen and act out with your teacher. Then listen again and number the pictures. 1,
You are sleeping in your tent.
2,
You wake up.
3,
Listen.
4,
Open the tent.
5,
There's a cow outside.
6,
Clap your hands and shout.
Boo! 7,
The cow runs away.
8,
Stand up and say,
I'm a super friend.
This is the end of CD3.
Okay, so thank you for that. Okay, now V2. I want you to please number the picture and number the sentences below. Okay? So I will give you the mouse. Okay, go.
Okay.
Okay. Also the sentences below. The sentences from the story. Can you please number it?
Okay.
Number the sentences also. Cook. Yeah, what's that? It's okay. It's okay, V2. Let's read together instead. Wait for a minute. Let me check your work. So let's start with the picture. So let's check 7, 4, 1, 6, 8. What's this? 2, 5, 3. Okay, very good. Your answer with the pictures, they're correct. Now, how about the sentences? Can you please read? What's number 1? Yeah? Number 1?
There's a cow outside.
There's a cow outside. Ah! Oh, you read. What's the first thing that happened? Of course, you wake up. Then, what's the second one?
Open the tent.
Open the tent. Listen. And then,
They're sleeping under tent.
and then, clap your hands and shout, boo. Stand up and say, I'm a super friend. The cow runs away. I think this is not the correct sentence. Okay. So, the first one is, of course, you are sleeping in your tent. Listen. You wake up. Listen. There's a cow outside. Open the tent. Clap your hands and shout boo. And then, stand up and say, I'm a super friend. And the cow runs away. All right, so there you go. So anyway, V2, this is just the story. So we will have your quiz. So this is the last, I think this is the last lesson, yeah? So we will have a quiz on Monday, and then after that, we will have your new set of book, okay? Do you have question before we go? No, okay. So thank you so much, Vito, for your time.
No.
Have a great weekend. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye.